Hi, it's Ronnie, and welcome to my channel and to Punched Out Thursday with Kathy, Krista, Dorothy, and myself. I'm going to just get started on this layout. I don't even know what I was thinking. I will show you in a minute the iPad of what I'm making. I am cutting just a little sliver off of each side of this to kind of bring it up to not a point, but to narrow it there, I guess you would say. I played around with this for quite a while, trying different punches, and finally decided what I was doing wrong. And I will tell you what I was doing wrong. That's a heart, and I wanted this oval to be rounded at the top. I need cheekbones. And I thought, well, the heart should work, so I put it in the heart and just cut off the top part. And I laid it on top of that other one that I've already formed and made sure they matched and trimmed them up. So now I'm getting the iPad to show you what. Okay, do you recognize him? Olaf. Yeah, I was going to make Olaf there, and it did take me a while. I finally realized what I was doing wrong, though. His head is about the same size as the rest of his body, and I kept thinking he just didn't look quite right, and he still don't look perfect. Like I said, I had trouble with him, and I worked and worked with him. But I finally got where I was happy with it anyway. I thought I could go on my layout. I'm using some Versamark ink there, and it's a light blue with a tinge of gray. And it says aqua, but I've had it so long, it may have looked aqua at one time, but it don't now. It looks like a grayish blue. But I wanted to make him look more dimensional by adding the shadows around the edge. This is his nose, and I seen this on a punched art video way back when Frozen first came out, years ago. I don't even remember when it came out. And she said that she used a 1/2-inch circle. So I remembered that because I thought I may make Olaf with one of my granddaughters. Well, guess what? I'm making it with a grandson instead of a granddaughter. But his nose, I watched Frozen last night so I could be sure and get him halfway right. His nose is like really fat and a lump, and then it comes to this point. So since this is really three-dimensional, and his nose is definitely not long and straight, I did like she said in the video I watched. That's really about the only thing I remember of it. And I looked for it and didn't find it. Oh, here's the eyes. I'm showing them. I only had, well, I don't have all the right sizes that I actually wanted. So I used the 1/4 inch twice, and I've done this plenty of times before. And I put the bottom one black, and I did make a mistake and cut it out, where I put the white one on the bottom and then went to automatically put the top one on the black one on top. But I realized as soon as I did it anyway, so I just cut it out because this one's backwards. You do the black first, then the white, because if you look at Olaf, his eyes around the outside edge is black. And then it has the white part, and then it has the pupil. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm putting on the pupil, which is 1/8 inch. Well, I really guess that's an iris. And you can't even see the pupil. But it's the darker part of the eye. And I'm putting them where he's looking over to his right, because I'm going to have him looking at Jason's picture. Right now, I'm not sure what I'm doing. Oh, the mouth. I am not going to get it big enough to start with. I'm not going to get small enough to start with. It's going to end up too big. And I forgot to measure it as soon as I did it. And I'm going to put the teeth on. I'm trying to decide how I want the curve on it. And see, I want the curve to match. So I'm showing you this, and this is where I cut it wrong. It just wasn't long enough to use without this sticky note. But I put it in here, and I should have cut it just a little shorter. And I'm going to have to go back and do that. But I'm going to put his teeth on first and then take them off, because I just don't even know when to do it. Yeah, and see that looked too big. I cut it and look, I glued and everything. I thought, oh no, that's just too big. So I'm cutting it down, and really it looks like two teeth when you're looking at him, but it don't have no the dividing thing for it to be two teeth. So it's kind of like one big one. And look, see, his mouth is too long. It's hanging off the bottom. So I got to pull the teeth off and stick it back in. So if you do this one, make sure you get it, test it before you put the teeth on, just to make sure. And see, I almost did it again without testing it, but this time it's all right. And I am going to get the teeth back on and double check and make sure they meet the curve of his mouth, so it looks like they're actually on the inside of his mouth instead of the outside. And I'm kind of putting a tiny bit of an angle, not too much. The left side space is just a little wider than the right side, because if you ever paid attention to Olaf, he just don't even stay still. He's like all over the place, and including all the parts that fall off when he's running around. They kind of bounce around and move around too. I am making the 3 sticks that go on the top of his head now. I guess it's kind of like a tuft of hair, but if you watch the video, it does look more like sticks than hair. But he does look awful cute in them. Now for the body. I would, on my test ones, you can see a test one right down there, I kind of flattened the top and the bottom, but when I went to glue it together, it just wasn't enough space to glue. I was having trouble having an area to glue on, so I went ahead and left it round, and I'm just flattening the top and the bottom of the bottom one. And the middle one is 1¼ inch, and the bottom one is 1½. Like I said, I was making them bigger, thinking they should be bigger, but if you watch the video, his head's about as big as the rest of his body, so I had to change those sizes, and he seemed to go a whole lot better then. He kind of reminds me of Fred Astaire, his chin, because he does have a long chin, if his mouth isn't wide open. I'm doing his feet now. They're 1/2 inch, and I flattened the bottom, and then I did the same as I did on the snowball up there, the bigger one for his body. I rounded the corners just a tiny bit so they wouldn't be quite as sharp. And instead of putting his feet straight down in front of him, I got his body at an angle. I've got his feet at an angle too, because like I said, he doesn't stay still very much. He's always all over the place and into something. And now I'm going to make his arms, and I'm kind of looking at it and just guessing. You want them longer than you need them, so you got something to glue to the back. And you want to make sure he's got little round elbows, because Olaf has little round elbows. He don't bend them that much, but he does have them. I took a piece of the wood grain paper and folded it in half. And on my sample one, all I did was freehand cut it, but I thought I'd show you using a pencil and doing it, because then you can erase and change it and everything before you actually cut it. And you actually have to cut along the lines. If you think, oh, that's a little too fat or a little too short, you could just cut it a little skinnier or a little longer. But I'm going to have matching arms this way. And his arms are a little bit on the long side. After I got him done, I thought, I could have made them just a tiny bit shorter. But I'm going to go ahead and use them anyway. And he's just going to have his arms kind of tossed up in the air like he's singing and dancing and all over the place as usual. I'm putting these buttons on now, and I'm trying to make sure they're not just straight down in front of him because of the movement he usually has. I wanted to show movement by having them in different places, and see, it's just not straight. And then of course you have to get the gel pen out and give it highlights so that he's a little more animated looking. And that's it. I am done with my Olaf. And yeah, I've been planning on making this for a while, but I was having a little bit of trouble with him, trying to decide what to use to cut him. Oh, here I remembered his eyebrows. And I used my punch so they'd be curved, but by the time I folded it over and cut the pointy points off and everything, they look almost straight. But I went ahead and put them on there anyway rather than cutting them again. They'll work. They're close enough. But if you go to do yours, you might want to make his eyebrows a little more rounded. And this is my grandson, Jason. He was at daycare, and somehow or another, he caught his eyebrow on something, and he had to go to the emergency room and get a couple of stitches. And he had Olaf with him. And you can see the band on his wrist where he's in the emergency room. In the picture, wherever it's at, laying there. But yeah, he was in the emergency room. But see, I've got everybody trained. I was at work that day. And he still ended up with pictures of that day for me to scrapbook. I'm using this dark color for my background, and the reason I used it is because I wanted to make some snow on my layout. And I wanted it to show up, of course, so I decided I'd use the dark navy blue. And the papers are all Chamel. They're different ones, and I'm not sure which one's which. I'm kind of thinking the blue one is Field Trip, and a couple of the others are too. But then that green zigzag looking one, it might be Never Grow Up. I get confused on which one's which since I've got them all in the same container now. I am going to make banners to go underneath his picture, and thought I would tuck in toys and stuff down in the banners that I'm going to fussy cut out of that sheet of paper right there. And I will end up putting one down that I have to pull back up because I kind of went over the top of it because I hadn't made up my mind of what I was going to do on my page yet. And after that's when I decided to tuck them all down in there. So I had to end up pulling one back up. And, I'm just going to start it out with the T-square ruler to get them pretty decently straight. I'm not going to say 100% straight, but to get them halfway decently straight so that I can tuck stuff in them. Once you start tucking stuff in, I don't think people probably notice as much whether they're straight or not. I really like this polka dot paper. It was like a rainbow, so it started out one color and went down and became another color and another and another. So, like I said, sort of kind of like a rainbow. Anyway, I liked it, so I wanted to make sure I used it with my banners, and then I used a couple other pieces too. But that's where I'm going to put my Olaf, and I am putting foam tape behind him. And I keep seeing this one piece. I'm going to have to go back with a brown magic marker and color it. That's my trick. If you got a little bit too wide, rather than trying to pull it up, maybe messing up whatever it is you're trying to have on your page, just get a marker and color it so it won't be quite as noticeable. Oh, here I'm cutting out a cloud. And the reason I'm cutting it out is because if you look in the picture, he's in a tank top and shorts. I don't know if you can tell he's in shorts or not, but he is in shorts. And Olaf in the summertime has a cloud above him with snow coming down so he won't melt. So I had to make a cloud, and I am going to make snow. As I said earlier, that's why I had the dark background, so I can make some snow coming down. I'm using Dilutions spray on it because I think it shows up better than most of them. And I'm just sprinkling it on, and then I'm going to set Olaf and it aside while I do the fussy cutting. And it will take me a while, but I got it mostly cut out. You don't have to watch it. And you're all sitting there, thank goodness. Yeah, it is kind of boring to watch somebody fussy cut. And while I was doing this, I was watching a movie, and I glanced up at something because I thought, I got to see this, and clip, I cut something I shouldn't have cut. But I do repair it when I cut it. I just glue a piece of cardstock or something on the back. or the paper on the back and fill in the gap that was cut off and go ahead and use it, especially if I've been cutting on it very long. But yeah, see, like a miracle, it's everything's cut out. Well, I think I cut a couple of more things out that I'd laid overside, I guess, and missed. But yeah, he's on foam tape, and I put 1 foot where it's below the banner and 1 foot touching the banner, like he's stepping off the banner, jumping off, probably jumping off in his case. And I'm just tucking all these pieces in. I don't think I put anything on foam tape except the arrows. Everything else just gets tucked in down there. And here, I got new tape. It's Dollar Tree tape. I like it a lot. I know some people don't. But I keep it in the, well, you can see it there on the left. I keep it in the container it comes in, the box, packaging, and just cut a hole to pull the strip out. Until then, I didn't like it very much. Thought, I am never buying this again because it will not stay rolled up and it's all over the place. But if you leave it in the packaging, you can just pull it right out. My Dollar Tree does not carry it. I had to order it online and then go pick it up at my Dollar Tree. But yeah, you have to buy 24 then. The last time I bought 24, it lasted me maybe, I don't even think it was a whole year. So you do go through it if you're scrapbooking very much at all. I started to put the yellow tag up there. I really liked the yellow tag. I really wanted to use the yellow tag. But then I seen this one and I thought, well, I like that one too. So as you seen me, I was pulling and tugging and couldn't get that out. Yeah, here, I'm still working on it. But I'm going to finally get it down there. I ended up getting my exclamation point off and everything before I ever got it up so I could put the tag underneath there. And I made sure I pulled these clips out. They're pretty old. Chamel, I know I've had them a long time, so I don't know which collection they go in. I'm kind of thinking Starshine or whatever that is. But I thought, I'm going to pull them out and lay them there so I won't forget to use it. And I put the XO on there. And I'm so tickled over that. Y'all just don't even know how tickled I am over that clip being on there. Like I said, I was going to cut a few more things out. I cut a couple of these arrows to go on there. And I think that's it. I think that makes the end of my layout. However, when you come back to see the pictures, you will see a small cluster down in the bottom left because I got to thinking I've got that cloud going all the way up in the right-hand corner, and I needed to angle it on down, so I needed something, at first thought, across the center in the bottom. Then I thought with the cloud, I needed it down in the bottom left-hand corner. So in just a second, you will see that, yeah, see, there's my little cluster in the bottom. I put a banner, a camera, and the word cool. And there's my Olaf and a close-up of him. And yeah, just play with him and try different sizes. I named off the sizes that I ended up using. I don't know what size the big oval is. I just know it's the big oval that's Stampin' Up. It don't have it punched on there or printed on there saying what size it is. But be sure to check the other gals out and see what they created today with their punches and dies. And yeah, they'll give you lots of inspiration to see what all they did. I was thinking about something else. Sorry. Big storm came through here on Sunday, and no, it wasn't Sunday. It was a couple days ago. Whatever day it was, it came through. I think it was maybe Sunday. I don't know. Anyway, it knocked the internet out for like all day long practically. And it's been off 2 or 3 times since then. And I was thinking, boy, I hope I got internet to upload this. But anyway, if you leave a comment below, I'll get back with you. And if you like the video and hit a thumbs up, I'd appreciate it. And if you are not subscribed to my channel, I'd love to have you subscribe. And those of you who are, thank you so much. But have a happy, scrappy week. Take care and stay safe. And check the other girls out. Their links will be down there below. Bye.